What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Make your next thing a big one. Today on the program, speaking of entertainment, I have Imran Ahmed. Imran Ahmed from Project X. Oh, you've heard of Imran Ahmed. Oh, he's a rocker. Yeah, from Pakistan. Oh, and all over the United States, mostly in the South. I think he's in Kentucky now, but I'm kind of excited to give him a chat and find out what's going on with Imran Ahmed and Project X, the rocker. The rocker. He rocks, man. He rocks. I'm going to find out where he came from and, what he's doing these days. This week's shows, I will be, usually on Friday nights I'm at the Rab, but this week I'm at a middle school doing a middle school dance on Friday night. So I have All About Entertainment at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. So make sure you go out there for the video dance party karaoke jam. I'll be back next week. Don't you worry. I'll be back. But I got to entertain the kids. Gonna have some fun. And then Saturdays are made for weddings and parties. I do have a few Saturdays available, so if you'd like to have some entertainment, please give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. But the best thing to do is to go to djlittlerock.com and check availability. Get your free price quote. All right, that's enough about me. Let's get into it with Imran Ahmed. I have a little bit of a cold, so you might hear me doing my D's, my N's like D's. So it might sound like Imran at some point, but I assure you it's Imran Ahmed with Project X. I got him on the Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version on my YouTube, youtube.com/user/KeysDan. Skyping Imran Ahmed, Project X, now. It's just me.
Oh, no, I want to see myself as well.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. See yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Imran Ahmed, Project X, The man, the legend. We got it all down. It's good to finally be talking to you. I mean, it took you coming all the way from Pakistan to Kentucky for us to chat. Yeah. And then here I am in Arkansas, not even in the same state. You just happen to be in the same time zone, and we got it all together. Right. Because I know we were trying to talk a few months ago, and it was every time I wanted to set it up, it was like some crazy hour in the morning, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you said, I got to get to work.
That's really difficult to have on the same time zone, especially if you're living in a different part of the world.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's times I have to do these on Sundays and do them early in the morning, so that way it's right in the evening. But time zones, that's just one part that you're dealing with coming from Pakistan to Kentucky. Tell me about, all right, I know there has to be no difference between the people, the food, the climate. Tell me the difference between Pakistan and Kentucky. How has that shocked you, or has it?
You see, I visited United States like 7 or 8 times before. So, I've been coming to US since 2009. And yes, 2009 was the first time I had a very different culture, and everything was so different for me. But coming over and over again, so I'm pretty used to it now. I'm getting used to it. And people are very welcoming, and they are very friendly in the United States. That's the best part about it.
Well, even for me, coming from Miami is a hub. So many different cultures melting together. If America is known as the melting pot, Miami has so many different types of people. In fact, I'm so many different types of people. I'm Cuban. I'm Irish. I think there's Italian in there. There's probably some French. So I'm so many types of people. But then I moved to Arkansas, and it was a little different, you know. So going from way down there, you know, to where it was so diverse to here where it's a little bit different. But, you know, Pakistan, tell me about a little Imran Ahmed growing up. And by the way, nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Nice to finally be talking to you. I've been perusing your videos all day long. There's so much to get to in this podcast, but I think we'll stuff a little bit of it in there. But tell me about Pakistan. You know, and you, I guess it was it Karachi, Pakistan?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Exactly. Yeah. I grew up, I was born in Karachi, Pakistan. It's a very big city now, like thousands of people living there, huge city, and it's growing by leaps and bounds, you know. So I'll go back to my teenage, like I was 14 or 15 years old. That was mid 80s. In fact, late 80s, you can say 1986, 87, 88. One of my friends who was with me in the school, he brought a cassette. At that time, we never had any CDs or anything. I'm like an old school guy, you can imagine.
Hey, so, I'm class of 86 myself. I think we're the same age. I graduated in 1986.
Right. So he handed over me a tape. It was a compilation of different musicians, like there were different songs of different artists. And the entire album was like a rock album. So I had no clue what it was. But the moment I put it in my boombox, I was blown away by the loud guitars. That was something I never heard in my life. And nobody ever told me that guitar was like you can play it through the amplifier. The only guitar I would see on television back in Pakistan was an acoustic guitar mostly. So it was like really weird to listen to some loud guitars. And I went back to my friend and I asked him what this is all about. He said that one of his cousins from Australia, he brought this and he will ask and let me know. And then this happened, and then he told me that the thing which you really like is an instrument called electric guitar. And I was like, oh, wow, that's something really awesome. Then I started listening to music. Then one of my neighbors, he was like really into rock music. He introduced me to the real rock and heavy stuff, you know, like Metallica and Megadeth and all these heavy bands. And I started to figure out that what it's all about, this guitar and everything. So basically, one of my friends, he was becoming a doctor and he had a cheap acoustic guitar at his home. And whenever I would visit, I would try to play this guitar. It has like 5 strings on it. And I really wanted to steal his guitar, you know. I thought that I'm going to one day, because I was just a young kid. I was broke. I had no money back then. So I would go at his place and would play for like a couple of hours. And he would get, you know, annoyed. And he would say that, okay, that's enough, man. You may leave now. I have to study and all this. But I really pleaded him. I asked him if he can give me that guitar. So luckily, I borrowed that guitar from him and I brought back at home. And I had no clue that the guitar had 6 strings. I thought that guitar had 5 strings because nobody ever told me. We had no internet, no YouTube, nothing as such. So I started playing that guitar. I used to like just bang the chords on that and, you know, try to make out weird noises. And one day I went to a shop. It was a bookshop in Karachi. So I was just going through the shelf, and in the corner, I saw some magazines and guys with long hair holding the guitar. I was like, what is this? It's got to be something interesting. So I went there and I picked up the magazine. It was a Hit Parader magazine. And then there were a couple of magazines, circus magazines, Hit Parader, and some guitar magazines as well, Guitar World, Guitar Player. That was my encyclopedia to everything. That's how I started to learn each and everything. And I'm a self-taught guitar player. Nobody has taught me. Maybe I just figured out with the passage of time that what guitar is and how it sounds and everything. Then I started going through those magazines. That's what really educated me that what the music is all about.
Imran, Ahmed, let me stop you. Let me stop you there for a second during this story. This is a great story, by the way, and the origin story of Imran Ahmed from Project X. But I got to go back to that mixtape because back in that time, about in the '80s, that's how we used to if we didn't have a lot of money to buy records, we would record off of the radio or find somebody else who had a record or even an 8-track tape. But you got this cassette tape from Australia. I'm guessing maybe AC/DC. What's on that cassette tape?
Yeah, it had it was a compilation album like of different artists. There was a song of AC/DC. There was a song of Scorpions. There was a song of probably Deep Purple, and some like different bands from Europe. All these like different bands from all over the world. So
no, this is a very
the reason why
this is a very important tape in your origin story that you had these guitar driven singers and bands because AC/DC for sure, you know, Angus with his little shorts running across stage but playing playing an SG that I've noticed a lot in your videos. Do you play an SG? I know we're going a little forward in the story. Is that the guitar that you like to play?
I had SG, but then I traded with the Les Paul guitar. Now I have a Les Paul.
Okay.
And for me, Les Paul is like, it's my style because I'm more influenced by Ozzy Osbourne, by Randy Rhoads, by Zakk Wylde, all these guys who play Les Paul. So, and of course Slash as well.
Okay, and I know Zakk Wylde has that one with the circles on it. Looks like it's gonna hypnotize you with the circles. But
I do have that. I do have the Les Paul, like the Zakk Wylde signature guitar, but it's not the original. It's a copy.
No, really. I don't think Zakk is going to part with his guitar. No, he's not going to give it to you, Imran. As much as a nice guy you are, he's not going to give you his guitar. But let me back up. Go ahead, back to where you're playing your 5-string, and tell me. I don't play a lot of guitar. I had some guitars, but they got stolen recently. But that's another story. Your 5 strings. Which string was missing? Because there had to be an empty space on the fret. Which one was missing?
That's a very interesting question. The first E string was missing. And I thought that the extra tuning key is just an extra thing. I didn't know that there has to be.
That sounds like when I'm building furniture and I end up with extra screws and I say, they always send extra screws. No problem. Oh my gosh, he's got an extra screw. Okay. Yeah. Continuing on, you figured out there's another string. Somebody helped you string that, or you learned it all by yourself? Figured it out.
That when I started reading the guitar magazine, I got to know right away that guitar has 6 string and it's a broken string. Then I was like, okay, I need to learn more about this. So there was a shop in my area. It was the only shop where every musician would buy their like instruments and everything. So I went there and I brought the whole set of strings, all 6 strings. And then I put all the strings, and then that's where I learned to play properly. Like for 2 years, I was just fiddling around with the instrument. I wasn't very serious because I had my studies going on. And then there was a lot of pressure of not getting away from my studies. And the examinations were around the corner. So after 2-3 years,
wait, before you go further, tell me about that music shop, because that sounds like a very important place. If there's only one music shop that all of the musicians in town or in the area are buying, this is a place where you can get ideas. I know that there's a small music shop here in Conway, Arkansas, Palmer, in fact. Shout out to Palmer. And that is a place where people can go, musicians, you're a guitarist or you're aspiring to be a guitarist. Maybe you find a drummer, maybe you find a singer, maybe that's where bands can form and friendships can form. Yeah. But tell me, did you have that experience in that music store?
There was only one music store. The name was Beatles, and we had this only music store back then. But unfortunately, we were like just bunch of people who were into music, and it was a small community, and we used to know each other. So like there wasn't any formal band kind of thing, but we would go to each other's place to jam. And if there's no place to jam, we would sit in the car and we would jam. We would lock the car doors and we would jam inside. And it was very hot back then, like in June. And yeah.
Well, I'm guessing it is hot in June in those months in Pakistan. But I mean, you're 15, 16 years old. Your parents, I'm sure they're telling you, make sure you get your studies done. And I want to tell the people that are listening right now, hey, it's good. Stay in school. You know, if you can, play guitar. I know you've heard those stories where people quit school and they become millionaires, guitarists. But that's one in a million. One in a million. Yeah. Stay in school. Absolutely. Make your head smart. You know? Yeah. But yes, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. So we would like sit down and jam, and we used to exchange ideas and everything. Then, fortunately, a friend of mine, he had a lot of money back then. So his like parents were rich. He was a rich kid. So he bought an electric guitar. That was the first electric guitar from the same shop. And that's where I really sat down and I really wanted to learn. And he was such a generous person. He sold that guitar in half the price of what he bought. So he said, okay, this is kind of like, I'm not going to gift you, but you can pay me whatever you have. And he just gave it to me and I bought it from him. And that's where I got really serious. I was about 16 or 17 by that time.
That's a good
And friend. I was done with my high school as well. And that's where I got.
Okay. Yeah, but tell me. Okay, you said that he had a lot of money. I want to know a little bit about the demographics, the economy of Pakistan. Where does the money come from? You're in Kentucky right now, and that's bourbon, racing cars. You know, I think about Kentucky bourbon. You know, but in Pakistan, what is the industry? Is it tourism? Is it what is it that makes Pakistan go?
It's basically agricultural country. So like most of the economy comes from the agriculture, and because like 70% of Pakistan is based on agricultural thing. So that's, but the economy is not very good right now. In fact, it's everywhere like this now. But back then it was pretty good. And, but we were fortunate enough to live in this city, in the urban area of Pakistan. So we had more knowledge than the people who were living in rural areas or in the countryside.
Which means you have access to culture and books and music. And there's much more to see in a city. The advantage of living in a city is you have more people to bounce ideas off of. The disadvantage is some of those people might get jealous of the knowledge you have and rob you. Does that happen?
Right, exactly. And one of the biggest disadvantage was the language. We are not English-speaking country. Okay. We speak a different language. Yeah.
What do you speak?
So that was the biggest. We speak Urdu.
Give me an example of Urdu. Say, how are you today in Urdu?
Okay, I'll say, क्या हाल है डैन? आप कैसे हैं? खैरियत से हैं? ठीक है? सब ठीक है?
To my ears, that is such an interesting language. That's beautiful. It certainly is different than English for sure. So
it is. Yeah.
But when you're jamming, when you're jamming in the car. You're jamming. You have a guitarist. You have somebody that's maybe drumming on the back seat. Maybe somebody who's singing.
The drummer had just sticks, and he would pound it on the car seat. So it was like a very weird jamming kind of thing, you know.
Okay, so tell me about Okay, so tell me about the language barrier. You were going to go on with that?
Yeah. Now I'll go a little further. Then there were three of us. We formed a band, and the first band was called Odyssey. So we named it Odyssey. That was the very first band. But the major problem was that since I was leading the band, I wanted to have all the music in English language. But the other two guys, they were reluctant and they wanted to have in their own native language. They said that if you want to sell your music, you have to make something for the people. I said, I don't care. I grew up listening to rock music, to Western music, and I'm pretty much exposed to that, and I want to go international. And if you want to go international, you have to have an English music. So that was a dispute since day one. I reluctantly started composing music in my own language, and we used to write Urdu lyrics as well. But back of my mind, I always thought that whenever I'm going to do my own thing, it has to be all English language. Since I've been writing poetries, since I was about 16 or 15 years of age, I've been writing poetries in English language.
Okay, well, tell me, Imran Ahmed, where do you learn English? Is that something that's taught in school as a second language, or something tell me about English? You learning English?
Actually, I studied from a convent school. My school was called St. Patrick's High School, so it was all English school. So we have two different mediums there. One is Urdu medium and one is English medium. So the elite class, the high class, usually they go to English medium schools. But back then, my dad was in the government, so we could afford to go to English medium school. That's how I learned. And most of our teachers were foreigners. Some were from Australia, some were from Canada, some were from different parts of the world. So that's how I got my English language since I was a child. Well, that's how I learned the language.
Those are very different types of English. I mean, I know Australia has their kind of accent. Canada has their kind of accent. England has their kind of accent. And maybe if you had an American teacher, there'll be a whole nother accent. How does that affect you when somebody is saying "epper"? There was one person, I remember a story going around where somebody, maybe it was Kentucky, maybe it was Alabama, somewhere in the South, the lady was saying spell "ipper," and the kid was trying to figure out what was it that they were thinking. She thought maybe apple, and she was saying hippo. So really there's a language barrier even when speaking English. But I'm sure you had that trouble as well, learning accents.
Yeah, but I try to have a neutral accent, Since I don't have any original English accent, I try to keep it clean and clear so people can understand me. But here, ever since I'm here, I'm learning a lot of Southern accent. So,
well, no, I think about the Rolling Stones. Okay, Mick Jagger speaks so eloquently in his English accent. He's very beautiful. Is very upper crust. But then when he starts to rock out on his rock and roll, it all sounds like rock and roll. That English very upper crust accent fades away. It all becomes music. Exactly. It all becomes rock and roll. Same with you.
Yeah.
Yes, even though I hear a little bit of a Pakistani accent in your English, when you're singing, it's all rock and roll. You could not tell.
Exactly. Just like Ozzy Osbourne. When you listen to Ozzy, you could barely understand what he's saying. But when he sings, he's so clear, distinct. You can understand each and every word what he's singing.
So beautiful, so beautiful. All right, well, you're a young man in Odyssey. Does Odyssey go anywhere? What kind of music are you playing? You got a little bit of some Urdu music, maybe a little bit of some local music. You're trying the band. You're making sacrifices. You're making compromises. Some English, some Urdu.
Yeah, exactly. We were like this. Like half of the songs were in English, half of the songs were in my own language, Urdu. So we were doing mixed stuff. But most of the stuff was Urdu rather than English, because they were in majority and they would really force me to do the local stuff. But that band lasted for about a year and a half, maybe. and I had to quit because my heart wasn't there. I really wanted to do something else. I wanted to go somewhere else. Then another phase in my life came where I started to learn Eastern classical music on my guitar. That was a very interesting phase of my life. I met a person who was a very trained Eastern classical singer. He would like sing, he would like shred from his vocals. It was unbelievable. The guy would like go on and on and on. And I thought I'm going to do some experimental music with him. Then I formed a band with him. Intentionally, I formed a band called Garage, meaning thunder.
Garage meaning thunder. Okay.
Yeah. It's an Urdu word which means thunder in English. So I formed that band with him, and it was, I'm going to share you the video as well. It was like he was singing Eastern classical modes and scales, and I would like follow him, whatever he was singing. It was a fusion of Eastern classical and rock. That was something really contemporary and like something fresh and new. And that landed us a gig at Royal Albert Hall in London. I performed in front of 5,000 people at Royal Albert Hall.
Oh, that had to make you feel good. I mean, but I love that blend. Okay, I speak Spanish. Well, I speak Spanish poorly now, but when I was growing up, I'm from Miami. I'm half Cuban, so I spoke Spanish and English, and my favorite music was the blend of Spanish and English.
Yeah.
Growing up in that culture, and I hear Haitian music, and even music from the Middle East and African music. All those blends of music together, it just makes you feel good.
Exactly.
So you're mixing music, and you're playing 5,000 people in England at Albert Hall.
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah. That concert was basically a charity show for the earthquake. Like back in 2005, there was a massive earthquake in Pakistan.
Ooh.
And we had to raise the charity, the funds for the people in Pakistan. So we raised about 50,000 pounds in one night in 2005. And I was live on BBC and CNN and so many channels in UK. So it was like a really rock kind of treatment, That was my huge major gig, you can say. Performing at Royal Albert Hall itself is a very, very an honor for me.
Well,
So
you're playing.
that was-
You're playing in front of all those people, and for a good cause, for sure. Helping out earthquake victims, you always have to try to give back if you can. But you're on television. Did any of your family and friends get the opportunity to see you play on television?
Oh, my friends were like, they were going crazy, and they didn't realize that I could go that far. So they were like really happy, and probably they had a mixed feelings that I can go this far and I can make it really. So like we were pretty famous back in the local scene, and I was like on the news all the time, and I was on the local newspaper, the biggest publishing of Pakistan, Dawn newspaper. So I had my cover photos there, and we were like pretty good. Then there's a saying that once a rocker is always a rocker. So I just had this band for about 2, 3, or 5 years almost, yeah. And we had one album only. I released one album. But after 5 years, I said, no, I have to get back to my roots, which is rock and roll. This is what it's all about.
Okay, so that one album, was that actually on vinyl and cassettes? And this is 2000.
It was on the CD.
On CD. And this, 2005, we're already in the electronic age. I know when I used to work turntables when I was a kid, and by 2000, I was working all digital. So, yes, I understand. Wow. It was all CDs back then, for sure. So, but did it take off? Did you get some airplay? Some people enjoyed it?
Yeah, in Pakistan, we were pretty well known. Like people, we were invited to different shows on television, and we had print media. A lot of print media was there. So we were quite popular back because we were delivering something unique, and people were really accepting it. Even we started to become famous in India as well, because our culture is pretty similar to India's culture. Okay. We were like one country back then before the partition. We were like one. India and Pakistan was like one country. So there's a lot of similarities between Indian music, Indian culture, and Pakistani music and Pakistani culture. Even the language is pretty much the same. So, except when you write, there's a difference in writing, but when you speak, it's pretty much like what I am speaking. So, if you meet any Indian person, he would speak like me.
Well, I'm hearing in my head, if I listen to Indian music, I'm hearing a lot of sitars. Is that do you play?
Yeah.
Do you play that as well, or did the person that you were playing with that had the Eastern classical, was he playing a sitar or a guitar, or was it all vocals?
No, he was all vocal, and I was backing him with the guitar, and I was trying to play rock music with distortion and everything, you know. So that would really give a different taste and a different blend. It was really unique. So this is the reason why people started to dig our music, and they were like digging, and they were really loving what we were doing. But after 5 years, I thought that I want to do something which is very close and personal to my heart. I don't care if I sell, I don't care if people would listen to me, but as long as I'm satisfied with what I'm doing, that's what really matters. So I started to listen to my heart. I said, yes, I'm going to start writing the song. And in 2011, I built up my own studio, home studio back in Karachi. And I said that I'm going to work and focus myself on what I really want to do rather than listening to what is going on around me. And I started writing music.
Well, let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. Your studio at the house at 2011.
Yeah.
Is it all electronic, or is it all digital, or is there analog? Are you going reel to reel, or is it all on computer?
It was all digital.
Okay. All right. Continue.
Yeah. So I started writing music. Then a friend of mine, he was a musician. He called me up and he said he wanted to record something at my studio. I said, come over. He came and he brought his friend with him. So the two guys came, and his music was in Urdu, and there was a small part where he would sing English, and that's what that other friend would sing, the one who came. So when he sang in English, I was really impressed by what I listened. I thought that I'm going to steal that guy and form a band with him. His name was Melvin Clements. So I called Melvin. I said that, Melvin, if you're interested in working with me, I have this music, let me know. And he said, okay, I'm going to come over to your studio. We're going to have a cup of tea, and then I'm going to listen to your music. We sat down and he started to listen to my stuff, and he was blown away by what he listened. He said, I'm going to work with you and I'm going to form a band with you. I said, great, man, that's great. Then we started working on English music. I told him from day one, I said, I'm not going to do any Urdu song. If you agree, I'm going to do English music only. So he agreed, and we were on the same page. He said, I want to get an international break. So we started writing music. We wrote about 10 or 11 songs. And we used to jam. And then we formed a band. That was the real band called Project X.
Hey.
That was my real band. Yeah.
And that's 2011. Okay.
Yeah, we would play in different colleges, in different universities, in different places and clubs and everywhere in Karachi. So we were really getting popular underground, you can say. We were more like an underground popular band. And many people knew me with my previous band, Garage. So there wasn't much efforts to, expose myself, since people already knew me. And then we started to jam, and we were doing concerts and everything. But unfortunately, Melvin started to get sick. He would never turn up. He would never show up to the jammings and all this. So I asked Melvin that if everything is all right, and he revealed to me that he had a rare disease called plastoanemia. Oh. It's like a blood cancer. So in 2016, he went to the hospital, and he could never make it. He passed away then.
Wow. What a heartbreak. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry about your friend. Oh.
Yeah. So I had a vision with him, and we were like on the same page, and suddenly somebody just died. You can well imagine how upset I got. I was so frustrated at that time that I thought I might quit the music. But thanks to my wife, she really encouraged me. She said, no, you have to keep the legacy of Project X. You have to keep going with that. Then
no, these are
Crazy.
beautiful. These are beautiful people. You know, not just your wife that told you to keep going, but also the friend who happened to have a little bit of money that gave you the guitar for a better price. These are people,
Exactly.
little touch people in your life that tell you to keep going. Those 5,000 people at Royal Albert Hall. You know, everybody needs to know. They have to support their local artist. If somebody says, hey, I'm going to have a show on Friday night, can you make it? And you say you can make it. Be there.
Exactly.
It's so important.
Exactly.
Keeps you going.
Very right.
It's good that you had these people. Go ahead.
Yeah, sometimes like you don't feel at that time the people who are helping you out, but small things can make a big thing eventually.
Yes. So your wife told you to keep going. That's beautiful.
Exactly. So my wife really encouraged me, and she said, I'm going to support you no matter what, but you have to continue the legacy of Project X. And I was like, thank God somebody's there to understand me. And since that day, she's been really supportive of me. She supports me in everything I do. So in 2016, after the passing of Melvin, I thought that I'm going to release the song online. The first song which I did with Melvin was What Am I? So I released that song online, and out of nowhere, I received an email from an independent award show that song has been nominated for that was the Josie Music Award, and it was nominated in 2016. And I was like, oh my God, that's a dream come true, you know.
And
because
you're
I
still
always
in Pakistan. You're still in Pakistan at this time.
Yeah, I was still in Pakistan.
And you had been coming back and forth since 2009 to the United States.
Yeah, since 2009. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Continue.
Yeah, but the time when this song was nominated, I was in Pakistan. So that was my very first big international break in United States. And I was like, by God, that's really what I really wanted to do. You know, because I grew up listening to all this American and British music. So it's very obvious that I want to have a break here in the United States. And that's where all things started to roll, you know. Then in 2017, again, I was nominated for the JMA, the Josie Music Award, and I won the World Musician of the Year.
Yes.
I won that award.
Yeah. All these little accolades, they keep you going. They keep pushing you forward. Keep going. I love it. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Then I had like almost 10, 11 songs with Melvin, and I released them one by one, all on the social media, on different platforms. And I got a lot of airplay from different places. And in 2019, I was nominated for another organization, International Singer-Songwriter Associations, ISSA. And in 2019, I won Male Rising Star Award.
Wow.
Then I came to Atlanta, Georgia, and we attended the red carpet show, and it was unbelievable. Throughout this journey, I'm going to mention some people who really helped me out. One of my friends, the first person I would mention is Don Balch. He has his own production house called D&D Productions. He happens to be in Nashville. He lives in Tennessee. When in 2009, I stayed at his place for about 25 days, sorry. So we really had a fun time there, you know. Then
and
there's another person.
Well, back then, were you playing music with him? Were you recording? What were you doing at D&D?
I'm like a part of D&D Productions. They promote different artists from all over the world. They have people from Russia. They have people from Canada. They have people from United States, from Pakistan, myself, and like from different places. And they are like a promotion company. They promote artists, but they are like very legit and they are really awesome people.
Very good.
So I was like with them, and I'm still associated with them. And I'm also the representative and the admin of ISSA as well, International Singer Songwriter Association. And I would like to mention one more person.
Well, before you do, I want to know, I want to let the people know that are listening that independent artists, a lot of times they don't get recognized with the Grammys, with the quote unquote the larger music industry. So the Josie Awards and the ISSA, those are important to keep the independent artist going. You get nominated and it's beautiful. But continue with your shout outs. I like that you give credit where credit is due. Continue.
Thank you so much. Yes, and I would like to give a huge shout out to one of my friends, Linda Erico Centeno. She is really an awesome person. I think I met you through her. She was the one who referred me to you, and that's how we got connected, through her. Then there's another friend of mine who did most of my videos. She did most of my videos. She's from Israel. Her name is Hagit Castle. She has done 80-90% of my videos. I give her the credit that she has done. And recently I did a peace song, which was my, you can say my baby, my project, which I've been working for so long. So in peace song, I have different people from United States, Pakistan, and other places, and they have just come to one place. It's more like we are the world kind of thing,
Growing up my whole life, I know that there's always battles all over the world, but I remember the thing that kind of a through line through my whole life is peace in the Middle East. Peace in the Middle East. Maybe because it rhymes, and there's always conflict there. There's a struggle. But this song, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you're bringing this up. You're bringing so many artists together, and it is kind of a We Are the World type of thing. I encourage people. It's 6 minutes and 20 seconds of pure love and joy. And my goodness, the whole world needs to come together and listen to this song. But continue.
Exactly. Just like my friend Don, he says that music knows no boundaries. So this was our motto. This is the motto of DND, and this is a tagline of DND as well, that music knows no boundaries. A musician, it doesn't matter if he's from Russia, if he's from Africa, if he's from Germany, if he's from United States, if he's from Pakistan, if he's from India, they all speak the same language. So the peace song was all about getting together in harmony and love. So that was my main goal, to release the peace song. And I'm so happy it went out so well. We had so many good musicians. She's a very good friend of mine. She's a jazz musician and artist from Nashville as well. She did her part. Then one of my very good friends who has her own band, it's a Led Zeppelin tribute band, Living Loving Led, Natasha Neese. She did her part. Then one of my friends, Siddle Crossley from Pakistan, she did her part. And there were many artists. I'm sorry if I cannot remember all of them. So all of them did their part, and it turned out to be such a beautiful peace anthem. And I'm glad and I'm so proud of it, that at least this world needs peace right now. Enough of this, fighting and war. It's not going to take us anywhere. And if we can produce something positive with the music, why not go for it?
Well, I'm seeing, that it is various artists, and it was put out back in 2022, just last year, mixed and mastered by Munir Khan. Where is Munir Khan located at?
Yeah, Munir is a very good friend of mine. He happens to be in Karachi, Pakistan, and he's a big fan of my music. And he said, Imran, you have to give me this song to mix and master because I'm going to do the whole work. So I gave him that song, and he did all the mix and master.
Well, he did
and
a
the
good
best
job.
part about Peace Song is that Natasha Nees, she asked me that I want to do the entire song as a solo thing, you know. She said, I did my job with the various artists and I want to redo the song in my own way. So again, we did the Peace Song with just Natasha and I. So that was another really like amazing thing, you know. I was so blown away by, she's a very talented artist, absolutely talented.
Well, I like when artists go and revisit some of the songs that they've done back in the past, and they put them out in different ways. The lounge singing type way, a hard rock way, a jazz way, maybe something with a rumba beat or something that's, you know, maybe got an Urdu feel.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm a child of the '80s. I told you I'm class of '86. MTV, music videos. Who is Haggett Castell, who did the video production?
Right. She Haggett is from Israel, and she approached me through Facebook as well. And she was like really excited, and she was fascinated by my music. And she said, Imran, is it okay? She herself is a video producer. She does a lot of video production for different artists as well. And she has won so many awards, like the Film Festival Awards in different places around the world. And she's very talented. And she said, Imran, I love your music and I really want to be a part of your team. I said, okay, go ahead. So that's how I met her. Most of the people I met was through online, definitely. And it's more like a team, you know, and I've collaborated with some of the amazing musicians. I've done like 7 or 8 songs with a band called 3 Days in the Grave. They're from Los Angeles. Greg Whitestock, he's a very good friend of mine. He did all the vocals and I did all the music. And thanks to technology that I would produce everything in my country and would send there, and they would do the vocals there, and we would mix and master, and then it turned out to be one great track, you know.
It's amazing.
And another thing,
we could do stuff all over the world, and maybe not even meet each other. You could have vocals sent in from all over the world. But who is Mike Ripke? He's the one that wrote the song. Tell me about him.
Yeah, he is a friend of mine. He's a veteran, I believe. And he approached me and he said, these are my lyrics. And if you want to make a music out of it, I would really appreciate that. So I was so fascinated. I loved the words. They were so pure and so like, it was all about peace and love. I thought that I'm going to make a beautiful song out of it. Then originally Melvin and I created that song. And then after the passing of the Melvin, I made it as a tribute to Melvin Clements. So that was like, it has been done 3 times, you can say. Originally it was sung by Melvin, and then the various artists came in, and then Natasha, she did another version of the same song. So we have like 3 different versions of Peace Song here.
Well, I have the special thanks at the end of the videos. Linda, Arico, and then Shaista, Imran.
She's my wife, Shaista Imran. She's my wife.
That's so nice. Michael Tobin, Kit Wakely, Hunter Lott. Oh my goodness, all these heavy hitters that I've just recently got the pleasure of meeting, at least online. Some of them I've had on the podcast, but not many. I'd like to get a few. Bronny, Cherise, Sadell, Natasha Nees, Jasmine Xavier. It's all there. You're giving credit where credit is due. People helping people, and that's beautiful. Collaboration.
And I'm honored to have Kit Wakely on my Peace Song in the end, who just won the Grammy 2023 Grammy winner, Kit Wakely. So I'm like, my God, he's a legend.
Yes. And you're a legend, Imran Ahmed. Oh, I knew this was going to be a wonderful podcast and a wonderful conversation, and I'm so glad that we finally got it together. And big thanks to Linda for putting us together. I'm pretty sure she was the one that got us to talking, at least online. But my goodness. So what are you doing in Kentucky? Tell me about what's your experience there. You said you're going to be there for a little bit. Tell me about what's going on in Kentucky right now.
Yeah, right now I'm here, and I'm trying to form. In fact, I have formed a band with one of my very good friend, David Pollard, and this band is called Encounter. So basically, I'm here to probably work more on the songs, and we might, you never know, we might start touring in Nashville or Tennessee very soon. So this is my main reason why I'm here in Kentucky, to promote my band and to work with the band and with the guys. Because I feel that living like thousands of miles away, I couldn't do much. So this is the best time and the right time for me to get together with my bandmates and start working on the songs. And David Pollard, you must check out his previous band as well, Cheering Tokyo. He is an amazing songwriter and a very amazing vocalist. Like, he's awesome, totally awesome. So we have almost finished the album. There are probably 1 or 2 songs left, and it's in the mix and the master. Once the album is done, we are on the roll, man. We'll start like going crazy with everything. And hopefully I'm like trying to plan out to meet the guys very soon in Tennessee. And then we might have we'll meet up, and then we'll have a plan what to do and how to go about in the future.
Oh, they're going to love you, man. But so did the wife make it out there, or she's still stuck in Pakistan?
No, my whole family is here.
Yes.
2 of my kids, Umar and Zainab, and my wife Shaista, all are here.
Well, I'm so glad there. At least your boy was here. He's the one that helped to set up the video. I appreciate him so much.
Yeah, my boy, he has his own channel where he does all the video games and all this stuff, It's called Baby Tech.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm a gamer myself. I play Fortnite way too much.
Yeah, he is a full-time gamer, and he has he gives reviews on different games and everything. And I'm going to share his channel with you after we are done with this podcast.
No, tell me the name of the channel again.
Yeah, the channel is Baby Tech X, TECHX.
Baby Tech
X
X.
like Project X.
I like it. Baby Tech X is the son of Project X. Ah, how sweet. That's beautiful.
And my daughter Zainab, she herself is so talented. She has her own channel where it's all related to education. She's only 13 years old right now, and she has her own educational channel by the name of Studymation. So study and animation, if you combine, it becomes Studymation.
I love it so much. Oh, the kids are getting so much smarter, younger and younger.
Oh, they are.
Just recently, I had a podcast with a 9-year-old author and a 5-year-old author of children's books.
Wow.
I've never written one book. They've written several books. These kids are getting too smart.
Yeah. When we were back in the days when we were 9 years old, we were just eating mud, We had no idea what was going on.
I was playing in the dirt. I guess that's why I don't have COVID, guys. I played in the dirt my whole life. Outside.
Same thing. Yeah, exactly.
All right, Imran Ahmed. I mean, I know this is not going to be the last time that we talk. I want you to come back as time progresses. We got a little bit of an idea of your life story, how things started with Imran Ahmed and Project X, and the trials, the tribulations, and the tragedy. 2016. Just the whirlwind that becomes a life of experience, and then it goes into songwriting and song making, and that's what you have. But you've already given a bunch of shout outs to people along the way. Usually I finish things off with the shout outs, but let people know how to get a hold of you. Can they get a hold of that first album by Project X with Melvin, the late great Melvin, or can they get a hold of that? Is it all on your website? I think I have all the social links, and I'll put them in the show notes, but tell me how you want people to get a hold of you.
Yeah, mostly all of my music is on all the website, different platforms, social media platforms like Apple Music, Spotify, and everywhere you can find them, YouTube. And of course, I have a Facebook page as well, which is called Imran Ahmed Project X. And I have a website, www.imranprojectx.com. So that is my website as well.
Well, tell me about the social media and the different platforms. as an artist, who is showing you the most love, so I can direct people to that site, because I do have the Spotify, the Apple, the SoundCloud, Sound Better, Indie Collaboration, DistroKid, iHeart, all these different mediums. But which one, when you put the music out there, they're giving you some money back so you can live?
Yeah, Spotify, I believe it does, but since there's not that much money in all the platforms, whether it's Apple Music, you just get few cents, I believe. but it is what it is. You can't do much about it. But I'm trying to go into movie scores and all this as well. I'm trying to create some music for the movies. So that is going to be really awesome. In the future, I'm going to see myself working for the Hollywood movies and all this.
Well,
I don't know.
I just recently heard about sync, where people put their music into sync.
Ah, I see. I have no idea. I haven't heard of that.
Well, that's where the Hollywood movies and really movies aren't Hollywood movies anymore. You can make a movie in Kentucky if you want to, and it's still a Hollywood movie. But I think Sync is one of the platforms that musicians are putting their music into, and hopefully they get licensed out from there and they get a good piece of the money. So you might look into that. But how are you How are you trying to get your music into Hollywood otherwise?
Yeah, we have already, I have a friend, Lisa Lee Martin, and she has produced a mini series called Hunting Jessica. So she has taken my song, which I collaborated with a very good friend of mine, Ricky Davis. He's from Minnesota, and we collaborated on a song, and she loved that song so much. So she wanted that in her own mini series, Hunting Jessica. And this is like the stepping stone for me to be in that movie thing, At least I broke the ice.
Well, I like that. There's a lot of teamwork. The big one you hear is Tim Burton and Danny Elfman. They're always making movies together. Tim Burton will be the director, and Danny Elfman will be the scorer. And then of course, George Lucas and John Williams. They've made all the Star Wars movies together. Until
exactly.
But so you could that could be your thing, Jessica and Imran. Imran, hello.
Yeah, and probably I'll go for Netflix as well. I would really love to have my music in Netflix, since it's like a very popular thing and everyone's like watching Netflix and all this. So yeah, these are my future plans. But right now I'm focused for my band as well and some of the stuff which I'm doing. I recently done a song with Tracy Bickford. She is an amazing artist. She's from Florida, I believe. So she's really, really awesome. I did two songs with her. So I'm making a video with her. It's called Deja Vu. The song's title is Deja Vu.
So like that.
I'm working on that.
I do music videos whenever I do gigs, when I DJ at parties. Like on Friday nights, I'm at the Rab in Conway playing music for them, but then I'll put music videos up as well. So, any music videos that come out from Imran Ahmed and Project X and your various things, bring them to me. I'll go ahead and put them up on the screen and let people know. And they'll say, who is that? And I'll say, oh, that's Imran Ahmed, Project X. Go look him up. Go buy some records. Go buy a T-shirt. Make some. He needs some money to take care of his wife and his kids. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your support.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, any other avenues you want to explore before we wind this thing up?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to another friend of mine, Georgia Paris. She is really an awesome singer-songwriter, and she's working with some of the best producers and musicians around the world as well. And I have done one song with her, and I've done another song with her, and I hope to do a few more songs with her. So the collaboration is really something which I enjoy, and I've done a lot of collaboration with so many artists that I've done about 20, 25, 30 original songs with all the artists. There's another artist, Mick Stanhope. He was an actor as well, I believe. So I did 3 or 4 songs with him as well. I did a whole album with Broniger McDaniel. It's called Daydreaming. It's available on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. And when I went to Nashville in 2019, I went to her place and we did a video together at her place. So that was another really awesome experience for me.
Well,
So
I saw the video of people thanking you for peace, and Linda and Bronny was there definitely, and all these other people that yeah, they seem like there's a lot of good characters, a lot of good people that you're surrounding yourself with, that are pushing you forward, that are helping you. You're helping them. You're helping each other. That's the way this music
and
community should be.
yeah, exactly. I'm so honored to work with them. They are a bunch of really talented people. And every time I collaborate with someone, I get to learn a lot from them. So it's always an ongoing, learning is an ongoing process. And I really believe in that learning has to go on and on and on. Once you say that you know everything, that's the end of you. You don't grow much. So you keep learning for your entire life. And I can say, like, I have been through a lot in my life, especially coming from a very different background, then accepting a different culture, accepting a different language, and making a different music while being somewhere else. That's not easy. Like living in a different country and doing just the opposite of what you like. I was like a misfit, a loner, you can say, an outcast. But one thing was there, that was persistence, perseverance. I thought that I'm not going to give up no matter what happens. There was a lot of rejections, a lot of no, a big no from so many people around the world and everywhere. But I thought that music is my life and I'm not going to give up. And I'll keep on doing till my last day. There's no retirement in music, I believe.
Imran Ahmed, you're a man of the world. You're bringing people together through your music and through your styles, through your talents, and I appreciate that so much. All right, hey, we could go on and on and on and on forever, but we got to wind this thing down at some point. And I do want you to come back at some point. If you have more things to promote, more projects, we could spend a few minutes chit-chatting about that as well. But Imran Ahmed, I always like to finish these things off with last words for the people. This could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra that you wake up with every morning, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Imran Ahmed, Project X, last words for the people.
Yeah. The last word I must say, that do not give up no matter what happens. It's like, it's not okay to regret, afterwards. But you fail, you try. You fail, you try. Keep on trying. That's what it is. It's all about doing it again and again and again and again. And believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you.
Well, there you have it, party people. What a cool dude, Imran Ahmed. Project X and beyond. Started out with Odyssey and was it The Garage? It was like John Garage. Oh, I need to go back and look at some of those projects. But follow him on all his social media, especially the YouTube. I'm a video type of guy. His YouTube is full of good things. But hey, please go to Spotify. I think Justin Bieber did this when he came out with one of his songs. He said, just put it on repeat and go to sleep. Is that a way to cheat at Spotify? No, Spotify. We're not cheating. We're listening to the music as we go to sleep. So put Imran Ahmed's song on Spotify on repeat, and as you go about your daily business, just listen to his song over and over and over. They got to make some money, okay? I know they always say, oh, I'm not in it for the money. I do it for free. No, you can't do it for free. You got a family to take care of. And people aren't selling records anymore. It's all streaming and, maybe buying some merch. And, of course, going to a live show. So stay tuned to ImranProjectX.com and his Instagram at Imran Project X. Pretty much everywhere, Imran Project X, Facebook, Twitter, and he'll let you know if there's a live performance coming out. So support your local live artists and help them to continue doing what they do. I appreciate it. I appreciate going to a show and having all these people having a good time in front of me. So I know that these live musicians appreciate the same way. You go to a show, you're feeling good because of the music that is being played for you. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's mutually beneficial. People helping people, taking care of each other. And I love that he came up with this song that, well, I know it was written by someone else, but I love that Peace is one of his songs. Peace is the song, one of the most recent songs, and it was collaboration, kind of a We Are the World, kind of a USA for Africa type of thing, kind of a what was it, Band-Aid type of thing, helping out, people helping people. But I always finish these things off with saying peace. So I guess I will. Thank you so much, Imran Ahmed, for being on the program. I appreciate you, and I look forward to talking to you again and learning more about you, even more. But now that's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Now, if you, yes, you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. It's KeysDan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, and, peace in the Middle East. Peace. I'm out of here.